Good evening. It's a little loud. Hey, Dr. Labia.
Hi, Blake.
All right. I have a question for all of you, and it's not multiple choice, but in fact the dreaded fill in the blank. How are the relationships in your lives? Unlike medical school, where there are tests to ensure we have learned the language and practice of medicine, there is no test to make sure each of us has meaningful relationships in our lives. The onus falls on each of us to seek out, invest in, and grow relationships with people we connect with. You may ask why I've chosen this occasion to talk about the importance of relationships. I will tell you this. Many of us have undoubtedly already faced hardships in the form of losing loved ones, watching loved ones suffer from disease, or indeed suffer from the likes of mental or physical illness ourselves. At the same time, many of us have not. But it is only a matter of time before we all will have to face these hardships, and of course the timing will never be right. It will be in these moments that may grow to span months and years, when our board certifications and academic accolades, nice cars and fancy offices will fall very short. And while it may have been ego that drove some of us into medicine, it will not be ego that gets us to the finish line, at least not smiling. When times are hard, we will need to call on our colleagues, friends, and family for support, guidance, and levity. Of course, you cannot expect people to be there for you if you are not there for them. But we are about to enter one of the most time-intense periods of our lives, when, as never before, we will have to sacrifice time with our loved ones as we hone our craft. But it will also be one of the most important times to hold on to the people that care about us and who understand our lives. We must invest in others if we expect others to invest in ourselves, open up to others if we expect others to open up to us, and of course, we must love others if we expect love in our lives. People may argue that a great physician does not need any of this to be great. He simply needs to study, practice, and perfect his specialty. That may be true, but I'm not talking about being a great physician. I'm talking about being a great person. A person who, at the end of the day, after the conferences, publications, award ceremonies, successful treatments and surgeries, actually has people to share these achievements with. A person who demonstrates compassion and kindness not just to his patients, but to everyone. If we work only for ourselves and our personal glorification, whom do we turn to when failure comes? And failure does come. Who will you text, or who will call you when your paper is rejected? When your experiment fails? When your patient dies? I understand the importance of self-reliance, but over many years, a lack of meaningful relationships will hurt you. I think people underestimate the importance of sharing our struggles with people we care about. These people can act as sounding boards to shape our thought processes and subsequent actions for the better. I think as we confront the struggles ahead of us, we must bear in the front of our minds that we will have no one to talk to if we don't talk to anyone. We must make openings and seek connection, even with urgency. We must not and cannot wait for relationships to form. Our lives are not long enough for that. I sincerely hope that tonight, each one of us can look around and know that we have made meaningful relationships that, with future investments, can grow to become lifelong sources of love and support. And if not, know that there is always room to grow and better ourselves, to improve our abilities to communicate, and ultimately, to connect with others on a deeper level. But there is no test. Nobody will be checking to make sure you foster these relationships. It's on each of us to make sure that no matter how deep in the trenches we get, we come up for air and check in on the people in our lives, lest we lose our sense of humanity. So here is a toast. Please raise your glasses. Let me grab some random one. Thank you. You guys will raise it for me. Okay. Here's to hanging out with colleagues after work, to texting your spouse during the day, to calling your siblings and parents, to coming in and saying goodnight to your kids even after they fall asleep, and simply to coming up for air. Here's to not only becoming great physicians, but also great people. Thank you.
Cheers!
L'chaim.
Nice.